Hello, hello, hello. Yes, right. Yes, this working? Is this working? Come on. This Instagram is a problem, hey? It's not working. Can you hear me? No? Oh my word. Do you want to try? Do you want to try and go live and then send me a request, maybe? Mm, I don't know. It's kind of problematic around here. What's up?
Hello?
Yes.
Hi! We
Yeah.
got it!
Finally.
Yay! It
Instagram.
always works out.
Yeah. Instagram is always a problem, you know.
Aw, it wasn't just now. It's cooperating now.
Yeah.
Phew.
Yeah.
How are
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
Yasmin?
I'm doing. I'm doing great. Doing fantastic. I'm sorry, my phone keeps
Hmm,
falling off.
that's okay. No worries.
Yeah. How
Well,
are
it's
you?
nice to finally meet you. I'm doing good. I don't think we've met officially yet.
No, we haven't.
We're Instagram pals.
Yeah, yeah. So I actually started following you there was a reel you made. I don't remember what was it, but like I really liked the way you presented the stuff, and then I was like, oh, she's so cool, you know, and yeah,
Oh, thanks. That's so kind of you to say.
but,
Aw,
but
thank you. And how do I say your name? Is it Yasmin?
yeah, you can say Yasmin, you
Okay.
can call me Jasmine. It's like up to you,
Hmm.
like what's
Oh boy, I have
more.
choices.
Yeah. It's fine. You can call me either each way. Like I used to travel a lot, so I don't really.
Mm.
All right. So
Aw.
it's currently like 12 p.m. Where you live, right?
Yes, it is. What about you? What time is it there?
Pretty late. It's 8 p.m.
Oh my gosh! What?
Yeah.
Yeah, because where exactly are you?
I'm from Israel at the moment.
Oh wow, that's amazing. Cool.
Yeah.
I would love to go there.
Really?
I like to travel. Maybe not right
Yeah.
now, but another time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be a good idea. So either each way,
Yeah.
for those of you who don't know her, um, she's you're fruitarian, right?
hmm
2 years?
It's been about a year and 8 months exactly.
A year. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I don't know why I thought it's been more time. Yeah. So, would you like to tell us a little bit about your background, like exactly what led you to this lifestyle and your choices?
Sure. Yeah. Okay, so I guess this all started because I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis when I was 24 years old, and I was already a vegan and very, very passionate vegan. Was sort of in it for the health reasons, but mostly because of the environment and the animals. And then over time, because I wasn't having any bad symptoms from MS, I eventually did get bad symptoms because I was doing junk food vegan diet, alcohol, coffee, all the processed junk. Um, and so it caught up with me, and I had terrible symptoms. It was like I couldn't feel my legs or feet. It was just absolutely awful. I couldn't run. Not as awful as some other people. I know some people have it way worse, but I mean, in the experience, it was awful. So I knew I had to change my diet, and so I slowly started incorporating more and more fruits and vegetables because I was really interested in medical medium protocol. So I was doing a lot of that. and that was doing a lot for me. It actually helped me heal quite a bit because I was, I guess, high raw, but I didn't even realize it, which is so funny. And then eventually I actually came across, do you know Eli Martyr?
Yeah, I love that guy. Yeah.
Oh yeah, who doesn't love Eli? Every fruitarian loves Eli. He's amazing. Like, I watched his video. I think it's called the something about it's called The Curious Case of the Fruit Eating Man.
Mm.
Oh my gosh, it changed my life. It was basically about why he became a fruitarian, and I was just floored. It was like I couldn't not know that information anymore. And so I started digging and digging, and I eventually found a woman named Rebecca Rosenberg, and she healed herself from multiple sclerosis by just eating fruits, which is amazing. So I started doing that, and I also delved really deep into Doug Graham's amazing Bible of a book, the 80-10-10 diet, which I love so much. And I love Doug. Shout out to Doug. He's my man. Not my man. He's just my friend. But he's just amazing. Like, all of these people really influenced me so positively. And so, yeah, ever since then, I've just been super passionate about it. I've been learning from Doug, been learning from Eli pretty indirectly, and Rebecca not as much because she's not posting as much, but it's just been, oh my gosh, so fun. But ever since that, I started that about 1.5 years ago, and just love it. But now I'm full fruitarian. I'm only eating fruit right now, and it feels awesome. Yeah. Here we are.
Yeah, so because I also hear a lot about MS, and I didn't really know what it involves, you know, like suffering from that, or what it actually is. Can you tell us a little bit more about that as well?
Yeah, sure. Well, MS is a neurological condition. Basically, your nerve cells in your spinal cord and in your brain, you start to get lesions because they're starting to not really erode, but you're getting scar tissue around them. And so basically those lesions are built like a buildup of toxicity, buildup of toxins from, you know, over time building up toxicity in your body from harmful foods, you know, medications, stuff like that, you know, all sorts of things that you put into your body without realizing they're not good for you. Yeah, and so that slowly starts to take away your ability to do certain things. So people with MS have very different experiences usually. Often people have trouble walking. Often people will slowly stop having the ability to walk or even use their hands. They will, you know, start to become really forgetful, almost like a sort of dementia type deal. People will go blind. I was actually losing vision in one of my eyes for a little while there, lots of fatigue, because it messes with your nervous system. So everything's affected. I actually couldn't hold my bowels for a while, which was pretty shitty. But yeah, it was, it's a tough disease to have. And from my experience and from what I've learned, it doesn't need to be that way. And so I'm so glad I get to be here with you today. To, you know, whoever gets to hear this, I just want people to know, like, this is actually not a life sentence, and you can actually do something about it.
Yeah, for sure. Like the diet is so crucial for, you know, healing, because most of the time it's what gets us into the situation. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so you...
I mean, that's the thing, and people go ahead. No,
it's fine. Go.
Okay. I was just going to say, people don't realize that's the kicker, is that I thought I was totally healthy eating just a regular vegan diet of, you know, whatever was vegan was healthy, even though Oreos are vegan, right? And people don't realize until it hits you. And that's what's really tough, is that we just kind of do what everybody else is doing because that's what's normal, that's what's cool, that's what also tastes really great. So I totally understand why people do it, but then all of a sudden they're sick. And they're like, well, crap, now I have to change my life. And, you know, honestly, though, I'm so grateful it happened to me, because now I get to live this life. And it's so much better. It's so much better eating just fruit and sometimes vegetables. Like, anyways, that's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, that's true, because you know, I also, because I'm a very energetic person in my nature, then I was
Yeah.
always like much more vibing than all the other people that had to. I wasn't really a drinker of alcohol or, you know,
Mm.
doing. I was, but not like it wasn't, you know, a big deal for me.
Mm.
I wasn't depend. I was mostly like really sober most of the time.
Mm.
But I was always like energetic, but I always felt like very lethargic. I was always, you know, like exhausted, and I was afraid to eat. I was afraid to eat also.
Wow.
And I always felt uncomfortable, you know, and at some point I just started having like a lot of trouble with I always had troubles with my menstruation as well. Like I used to get it twice a month and it was pretty heavy,
Wow.
you know, yeah, ever since I was 15. So I went on the pills and it was like a whole story. Yeah. So definitely what I wanted to say with that is that I lost my train of thought and yeah, so truly what I wanted to say is that I also thought I was healthy. Even, you know, I was in the gym, I was a personal trainer, and
Wow.
so I thought I should avoid like a lot of carbs. Maybe carbs make me fat. But then I didn't want to give up carbs because I love them so much, you know. So I I was like, I cannot do it less than, it was maybe 170 grams of carbs total per day, you know, and today
Wow.
is like maybe a meal for me. So
Right.
yeah, and I'm like all these people doing keto and they think that it's healthy for them, you know, and I always felt like something is wrong when I don't eat any fruit or vegetable during the day when it's fresh. And then I've seen a lot of people coming to me and they're healing, you know, and then they say they only eat fruits and vegetables. So I gave it a shot, but I didn't know how to do it properly. And then it went on and off, and I was fasting to heal my pain, and well, really short fast, like it was only one day, and I don't really do extended. And you know, eventually you get into this lifestyle and you realize that you try it out, you know, and after a day or two, you just get so much energy from all the fruits and the vegetable, and then you feel like how you should really feel during your lifetime. So even though I was pretty energetic and everyone was quite heavy, you know, they're eating, I don't know, they were eating a lot of meat and not really, I don't know. But then I started noticing like how we really meant to feel, you know, and it's like such of a big difference. I was also vegan before going on a fruitarian raw food anyway, so I felt a difference. So I tried raw till 4, and then I saw how I feel after dinner, and I didn't want to feel like this anymore. So I was just like, hot cooked foods, you know, and yeah, yeah, and then and like really started to shift. It was, you know, after 2 days, I was already, you know, I was getting my period and it wasn't hurting. It was hardly anything at all after only 2 days. And I was like,
Wow.
this is how it should be. Like, this is how it should be. We're not supposed to go around bleeding every month, like bleeding really heavy anyway, or
Right.
suffer. And it takes away our life force because the blood is, keeps our, yeah, so yeah. I also thought I was healthy, you know. A lot of people think they are healthy, but we don't really realize what the food is doing to us until we actually understand, until we really understand. Yeah.
Absolutely. Wow, you've had quite the journey yourself. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah,
know that
and
about
you
you.
know, yeah. Well, there are a lot of other things that convinced me to go into this lifestyle. Obviously, like I tried it a few times. There was even a period where I was pregnant, and then unintentionally I was eating fruits and fasting because I was fighting with the partner, you know, and they kept me off sleep, and there was like a lot of problems over there. So I did notice that once I started eating like, you know, pizza, like vegan pizza, I started to get all nauseous and I started to be depressed, and like you really do feel the difference. Crazy.
Yeah. It's actually so surprising. I mean, I haven't eaten cooked food in about a year and a half. Like, yeah, it's been a long time actually. But literally yesterday, I ate cucumber noodles with, I made tomato sauce, but with sun-dried tomatoes and tomatoes. So it was a bit more dense than usual. Usually I'm just eating sweet fruits on their own mono meals, and it feels amazing. But holy crap, I ate that last night, and it was like, oh my God, I just feel so much heavier. Just from that. Like, I do not want to give up just eating mono meals of fruit now. Like, now I'm hooked on this vibe that is happening. So I totally understand. Like, once you take a step up, taking a step down it's such a different vantage point. You just have yeah, so I totally get it.
Yeah. What? Someone says, even with eating only fruits, though, I don't always feel more energy or best, and this has been years. Do you have like anything to answer that?
Well, I would have questions of my own for this person, and thank you for offering this insight here, because a lot of people go through this feeling of tiredness when they go on an all-fruit diet, but usually it's because either they're on and off, and like sometimes they're on a fruit diet and then they give up because they start having detoxification symptoms, because the detox happens right away because your body wants to heal always. It always wants to detoxify itself. So if you go on a fruit diet, like it might suck at first depending on what kind of or what level of toxicity you've come from. So at this point, I'm actually not sure what your journey has been like, my friend. Like, if you've been on and off, like sometimes you go back to cooked or sometimes you go back to more complex meals and then you go back to fruit, then yes, it will take that prolonged period of time where your body is kind of going back and forth between detoxing, retoxing, detoxing, like it's kind of a bit of a roller coaster. So if I was in your situation, I would just be all in. And I would also be addressing some other things too, like, are you stressed out? Are you getting enough sleep? Are you drinking water? It's my personal belief that we should also be drinking water. And all the power to you, either of you, if you want to disagree with me, I welcome that. Like, please do. We can have a talk about it. But I also drink water as a fruitarian because I think we get to flush out even more of the accumulated waste that has piled up in our bodies over time. Because we have not been born fruitarians. So that's what I would do if I was in your situation, my friend. But I don't know. What do you think, Yasmin? What's your suggestion there?
I also think maybe she should check maybe the quality of fruit, or is she eating enough, or is he? Yeah. I personally don't really drink water if I have enough fruit. And I feel great. Like, I don't know, but it's really personal. If she feels better drinking water, yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. It really depends. And I think that everyone comes with a different baggage of whatever they were eating before and their lifestyle and whatever they've been through, medical conditions. It's all, you cannot really point something on just like very minimal information.
Totally. Yeah, I completely agree with you, Yasmin. I think that we would need to know a lot more. This is a very small chunk of information, but yeah, you're absolutely right. It depends on so much stuff. Yeah. So give us more information. Just kidding. You can private message one of us privately if you'd like, and I'm sure. Well, I know I'd be very happy to answer, and Yasmin might be too. So go for it.
Yeah. Also, we wanted the main reason I also brought you into this live was also to talk about, you said you healed like eating disorders you used to have, right? You talked about it in one of your reels.
Yeah. Do you want me to just dive in and talk about it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, diving in. Okay. I don't want to make this too long of a story, but maybe it'll become a long story. Who knows? I didn't really know I had an eating disorder, but then again, I don't know, maybe everybody is unaware that they have it. It still feels weird to me to even say it. I still sort of feel like I shouldn't give myself that label because I always want to say, oh, it wasn't that bad. However, even in saying that, I can hear the justification in it, and I think it's really easy for us to justify, just skipping meals because, well, I want to lose a little bit of weight, or I don't want to get fat on a fruit diet. It also helped that kind of, oh, you dropped me, oh no, ow, just kidding. But it also allowed me to justify saying, oh, I don't have an eating disorder. Oh, are you okay? Are you good?
Yeah.
It's so funny. I teach students online, and sometimes they drop me, and I'll be like, "Ow, my head!" They think it's really funny, or they roll their eyes. One of the two. Anyways, but when I do that, when I say, oh, I don't think I really had an eating disorder, it's the same sort of mentality that allowed me to exercise incessantly when I didn't want to, because I wanted to look a certain way. So that's basically what I was doing. I always, not always, but for a long time, I really wanted to maintain this very skinny, slim, tight-looking waist. I was really obsessed with that. And it wasn't until actually the year that I went raw vegan, I was doing it initially because I wanted the health benefits, which I got. However, because I started to gain a little bit of weight when I started it, I sort of freaked out. So I started to cut my calories really dramatically. And I also started a workout regimen that was very strict and did not allow for any wiggle room. I was very rigid about it, unbeknownst to anybody around me. So I remember I was working in a school library, which was a very sweet job. And in the morning, I would work as an online teacher, and then I would skip breakfast, go for a 1-hour run, come back, eat a big breakfast of probably watermelon or something, and then I would go to work and I would fast for the whole afternoon. And then before going home, I would be really, really hungry at this point. And then I would go for a 1-hour hot yoga class, and then I would come home and I would do a strength training workout, and then I would have dinner. And I mean, that doesn't sound that bad, right? But in the grand scheme of all of it, it was every single freaking day. So it was even if I was exhausted, I would do it. And I'm an advocate for exercise. I think it's really good, and I think it's really good to be on a healthy diet. However, I no longer think it's a good thing to be starving yourself, especially as females, perhaps. I really think we need to have some extra body fat if we want to be able to have healthy reproductive organs, healthy bodies. We need to have a little bit more fat, I think, as far as I know, especially if we want to have a baby one day, which I'm starting to think maybe I do want kids, And I think the most important part of all this is that through that time that I was doing that, I knew in my mind that if I wanted to maintain this very skinny body that I had achieved, so I'm 5'7". At the time I was about 100 pounds, which is a very low weight for a 5'7" woman. So I wanted to maintain this though, because I still thought I had to be either that skinny or even a little bit skinnier. And I knew that I couldn't stop doing what I was doing either. That was what was really scary about it. And the other part that was really hard about it was that if I even started to gain a little bit of weight, I really got scared. And I think that mentality is what is so... do you allow swearing on your channel?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, that is what is so fucked. I'm such a potty mouth. I fucking swear so much. Anyways, but I think that's what's so fucked up about it is that I was afraid to gain even just a little ounce of fat. I thought it was so wrong. Oh my God, if I got it on my stomach, if anybody else had that happen to them, I was like, good for you, all's well, do your thing. But for me, no, double standard. I had to be, rail thin all the time.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I saw pictures of myself at the retreat in Spain that I went to last year, where I saw how small I actually looked, how even kind of malnourished I looked. I couldn't believe it. You know, seeing myself in pictures, my skinny little legs and everything. I always was thin, but it was next level. And yeah, but I think the worst part of it was that I was so stressed out about it. I felt fine physically. I didn't feel weak or anything like that. I felt good. The problem was that I was restricting myself and that I was not allowing myself to do what I wanted to actually do. The exercises I was doing, I started to really resent and hate them. I no longer liked going for runs. I didn't like doing the yoga I was doing. So basically, it all sucked for me, like a lot. And at that point, it wasn't even about the diet anymore, even though I was counting calories every single day. I was using Chronometer, and I no longer count calories, and I'm really happy about that.
Yeah.
But I can sense also that I'm a little bit hard on myself for being that way. But I think as women and as anybody, we need to be nice to ourselves, because we live in a world where, you know, our bodies are on display and we see other bodies looking so beautiful on Instagram, and we want to attract partners, right? We want to look beautiful because that is, I think, just a part of who we are in survival mode. We want to reproduce, right? So we want to look beautiful. However, I think it was important for me to realize that I actually can be beautiful being a little bit bigger. Like I know I can eat all I want now. I eat as much fruit as I want to, and it's, holy crap, it is the most freaking amazing thing ever. And also, I only do exercise that feels really good to me, and I only do exercise when I want to. So if I'm freaking tired, I let myself take a nap now, which is crazy. This is a new me. So it's been a transformation. Yeah.
It's like very familiar, because coming from the gym, you know, I was also like restricting my calories. I was like maybe 1,200 calories, and then there was fasting like every week. That I didn't really do it only for weight loss. I've done it for the benefits of, like, the health benefits more than the.
Right.
But still, I wasn't really eating enough, you know, and I was afraid to, you know, like I told you, I was afraid to eat, and I was, so I understand, because I'm coming from a world where you see, like, well, I was training like six times a week, and that was only like strength training. And there was obviously cardio that I was doing every single day, even though I was tired. So, it doesn't matter how much, you know, I drank like coffee and tea and, you know, like I never took pre-workouts and stuff like that, but because it didn't look like something one should consume. Yeah, I mean, like the coloring, is it even real, you know?
Yeah. No.
And I see all these people twitching, you know, they're taking all these type of things, and I'm like, oh my God, what are you doing? So, yeah, at some point you just realize I also started losing my strength because I was restricting way too much. And actually, when I went on a fruit base, when I went on fruitarian, you know, raw vegan. Let's say some days I do eat sometimes raw vegan. That's very rare. So when I went on a fruitarian, I actually started with a with a watermelon island, and then I was just eating the watermelon. I stopped counting calories, and I was like, but I can calculate the calories because I already knew how much calories are in these things that I eat. Yeah, so
same.
so I was like, oh my God, I can eat so much, and I started losing weight, and I'm like, oh man, what? You know? So I think that in some point it helped me with my eating disorders, because even most people are not really aware that they have this. You know, they think that, oh, I shouldn't be eating more than once a day because, I don't know, it's not healthy. But if you're living such of a stressful lifestyle and your body requires more energy and more liquids and more sugar and acids and I don't know, everything that's inside in order to help you like relax and, you know, just to have more energy, because we're not meant to be living like this, you know. So, you know, prevent like depriving your body from getting like enough nourishment as well. I think it's also keeping us backwards. And this is where a lot of people are falling off from this lifestyle again, or they're going fasting for a few, you know, I don't know how many weeks, these people that I heard that are dying, or, yeah, so it's like really things that need to be also taken into consideration when we are going into this lifestyle, because I also know of people that are going into this lifestyle in order to lose weight, but then they don't think, they don't really know that they can eat more. I didn't, you know, because you have another mindset, because you're used to eating a lot of other things as well. Yeah, so
Absolutely.
yeah, so even if I do eat at certain hours, sometimes I eat after sunset, you know, which I don't really like to eat late because it just doesn't feel amazing. But if I do feel the need to, then I will grab like if it's only a fruit, you know. So this is also something that a lot of people are like going crazy for. Like, I'm going to restrict myself, and then it doesn't work, and then you restrict yourself and it doesn't work. So like you gotta find the balance, you know. It's you gotta give your body what
It
it's
gets
asking.
confusing out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. I think so too. Like, I also used to be of that mindset that, yeah, you should not eat at night. But to be honest, I actually think that we come from a very strong cooked food mindset, like standard diet mindset, where everything is actually, all those rules are about that kind of diet. And I understand if we were in the wild, we probably would not be eating at night because it's not really a good thing to do because animals, yada, yada, yada. However, I think for people who are starting out on a fruitarian diet, which you and I, like, how long have you been raw vegan fruitarian for?
Over 2 years now. A little like 2 years, 3 months, something like that.
Amazing. That's awesome. So okay, like let's say 2 years, a year and a half, like that's still quite new, you know, in comparison to the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
Like I'm 31 now, so for the other like 20 something years of my life, I was eating cooked food every single day, and so all of those rules applied for a really long time. But now on a fruit diet, we're still kind of just starting out. You know, I think we ought to let ourselves eat when we're hungry, rather than putting like now all of a sudden we have all these rules on ourselves. It's so funny as people who are very health conscious and we really care about, you know, the environment of our bodies. We're so up to our necks in rules. Like, whereas before that we were just doing whatever the hell we wanted to, right? So I think there might be room to just like just chill out a little bit. This is more giving myself a pep talk. So
Well, yeah.
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 Wow.
So do you think that if you would restrict yourself like for longer time, you think you would be able to sustain this lifestyle?
If I continue to restrict, probably not, I would say. Because I remember when I was in Bali, I would binge out on the raw vegan gourmet restaurants. Like there were 2 separate days where I went to these raw vegan gourmet restaurants, and I purposely went on my own because I wanted to eat probably about 5 or 6 different meals while I was there. Like, not even kidding. Like I went to one of these amazing restaurants and I just was like, okay, I want this, 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 and this, and this. And yeah, okay, that's it. And I literally ate everything in one sitting. And they were looking at me like, you're going to eat all that? And I'm like, yep. Like I was just so hungry. So I ate everything. Binged out on durian. I went to another restaurant in Bali where I binged out. I ate again like 5 different meals, one sitting, and I was so full. And I remember afterwards I felt so much shame. And I don't have bulimia, like I didn't go puke it up or anything, but I just felt so bad about myself. But I'm realizing that I did that because I was so restrictive. Like if you put too many rules on anybody, on a child, on an animal, on anybody that is restricting them from doing what they want to do, they're going to rebel. You're going to have that backlash of like your body wants the fuel, your body wants the energy. So
Yeah,
she got what she
exactly.
wanted. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember I can see a lot of people that are restricting themselves and like they end up going, they eat cooked foods, and it's not like I'm not shaming cooked foods or whatnot. It's just that for me, it doesn't feel the best, after you go on
Mm-hmm.
only fruit or raw vegan that is not gourmet, let's
Yeah.
say, then you really feel the difference, so
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just, I also think that even if you try to like, not try to, but if you are being too, hard on yourself. I was also really hard on myself, and I used to do that. This is why I was doing it also by myself. I wasn't ordering like 5 to 6, but I was ordering like 2, 3 dishes like raw vegan. We only have one raw vegan restaurant in the entire country. So I would go there, and it was like quite high in fat, and they put salt, and it's not like the healthiest raw vegan things you can eat.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I was eating it, and then I remember the next few days it was like a lot of mucus, and my back was, like kind of tight and uncomfortable, and I felt so tired, and like my mood was different. So, but it's really, I think, hard enough to feel this way, and you just gotta be conscious and gotta be aware of how what you put in your body is making you feel, and why are you actually doing these things. Like, why are you, it's not like you're trying to harm yourself, it's just because your body is asking for more energy, and it knows that it's going to go to denser sources eventually. So yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think this topic is not being talked about enough, as much as you gotta fast and you gotta stop eating. This is something that a lot of people are talking about, but the contrary is not something that other people are talking about. Like the other side of the, you know, yeah. That is it basically. So I also have a question. I have a few questions.
Okay.
Someone asked, how does she balance her musical or theater aspirations with the health work?
Oh, I didn't expect that. I I guess I just do. I just love both so much, so I just do both. But to be honest with you, I have been quite, I guess, wishy-washy and confused about what I want to do with my life. But I do realize though that my true passions are this kind of work, health, and wellness, and raw veganism, fruitarianism is just absolutely fascinating and wonderful to me. And also spreading the message that, hey, you can heal your body. I want people to know about this because it happened to me and it happened to so many others. So why couldn't it happen to you? And also performance is just like, it's in my heart, man. Like it's just like, I can't shake it. Every single time I try to shake it off of me, I literally can't. Like it doesn't work. I was just recently in a commercial and it was just such a fun time. I was so goofy because I got to play the goofy character. So how do I balance it? I don't know. I really don't know. I just improvise.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
actually, I like seeing like the videos you do, because it's like you can see you have this theatrical kind of quality to it, and it's like really fun to see how you're doing it. It's like quite good
Aw,
actually. Yeah.
thanks. Yasmin. That's so nice of you.
And I'm not a nice
It's fun to make
person.
videos.
Yeah.
You know what's so funny? Your videos are very like brash. I love that about you. Like you're very blunt and you don't give a shit about what other people think. It very much seems that way. But when I'm talking to you here, you're so kind and so friendly and nice. And I didn't expect you to be mean or anything. I was like, yeah, Yasmin's like to the point. She doesn't give a fuck. I love that about her.
Thank you. Yeah, well.
Yeah.
I really don't, I think that everyone needs to do whatever makes them feel good. I'm just stating my point of view, and if someone doesn't want to listen, I said whatever I had to say, and if maybe my opinion will change one day, it's also like something I can expect. I'm pretty, if something makes sense to me, then it makes sense, and like I'm really open to hear about it, But if it doesn't, then it's like, for me it's like a waste of my energy and time. But I will listen and keep an open mind. So, how someone is asking advice on how to gain body weight. I think that just eating and your body weight will balance if it needs to gain, but what do you have to say about that?
I actually think similarly to you, because from my own experience, by eating only fruit, sometimes, okay, let's say I included some leafy green vegetables, that would be fine too. I eat as much as I want to. I have stopped counting calories, and I'm also active. I like to be active. So I think, like Yasmin had said, your body will actually balance itself out. So for myself, because I was restricting for such a long time, I actually gained a little bit more weight, like around my tummy and stuff at the time, and now I'm starting to lose weight again. I think my body just needed to kind of like adjust, because when you restrict for a long time, your body is then sort of desperate for calories. So if you start giving it calories consistently, it starts to store them, right? And it's like, well, we better hold on to this because we don't know when the next famine's coming.
Yeah.
So
right.
I stopped putting myself in the famine state, and now I've been really balancing out. I think you know what's funny? When I was restricting and I was super skinny, I really hated myself. I really hated my body, and I always thought only sometimes it was good. Like I was like, oh, okay, now it looks hot. Like, but it was only in that state. If it got any fatter, a little bit bigger, or more life force on it, I started to really hate it and be like, what the fuck? Like, what happened, Adriana? What's wrong? Like, I would just go off on myself, and now I truly have so much love and appreciation for my body in a way that I did not before. I no longer look at myself in the mirror and scrutinize myself. I have started to practice looking at myself in the mirror and just start talking about all the things I like about myself, even if it feels like I'm resisting saying it. Like, I love my tummy. Like, I just say it. I'm just like, I fucking love you, tummy. You do so much for me. I love you so much. I say it until it feels like it's genuine, and it actually is helpful. It sounds really kind of like, but no. It literally helps if you just do it, try it, and do it sincerely.
Yeah.
Practice the sincerity anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, because I also noticed that sometimes I used to look at myself in the mirror, and I was like, I didn't like anything about me. I think maybe the only thing that I really liked was my feet. I always liked my feet, like how they looked. But I still think they're quite big. But I'm not that short, so I think I'm 5.6. Yeah, so I never really liked anything, but I remember also coming from a house where my mother used to tell me to not eat breakfast because I'll be fat. And because this is the world we live in, you always see like the skinny models, and you want to be like them, so you're afraid to eat as well. And so what I really wanted to say with that is that a lot of the time we don't really know how we look like, We compare ourselves to something that we see on TV or you see in the newspaper, and we're trying to get into this perfection, like perfect mold, perfect body. So we're getting there, and it actually ends up hurting us. It's like backfiring,
Yeah.
and it comes from a place where you don't really love yourself. I know I never, like, until recently, I think I was always struggling, even when I was fruitarian. Yeah, so I started also looking, why is this weight like still here, or I should go and do like a mono cleanse to clean that out, which is, it's great to do for like health, like benefits or whatnot, but not in order to just be in the mind of, I don't love myself, like I'm not good enough. And it's something that I see with a lot of other people that are striving for perfection, and this is also part of the reasons why they're coming into this lifestyle. And yeah, because I was there, I can really I can really say for myself that it really set me free. Like, I do use chronometer, but I mostly do it just to do like a research of how my body reacts to different things that I do, or to see like what's the components on each fruit, and like do videos about this one has a very high omega-3, or because people are so scared to eat fruit, they think they're going to get deficiencies. So it's just to try to point out those things as well, and that the fact that you can eat like over 2,000 calories, and like you can eat over 1,500 calories, nothing bad will happen to you, In fact, like it's fine. Like it's something I see animals in nature, they just practically, except for lions maybe because they hunt and, they eat like pretty heavy. I see most animals in nature just eat all day long, or they're just scavengers, just looking for food all the time. And I'm like, okay, so maybe it's not like, not, people are making it into something bad. Like, eating is not something that we are meant to do. And it's like, dude, you're eating fruit, chill, it's why are you so hard on yourself? Why are you? Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of respect to people that are doing this for spiritual reasons. I'm a very spiritual person myself, and like, I love to feel light and all, but I also like to have a lot of energy as well. So for me, if I didn't eat a mango the day before, or any type of tropical that has a lot of calories, or even grapes, like grapes also usually have pretty nice amount of calories to them. And like, they just give you so much energy, and then you want to work out, because you have so much energy and you can do those things, you have like so much strength, and you don't have to make yourself do something.
So true.
Yeah.
I was just like, that's actually such a good point. Like, actually, I noticed for myself, now that I've been eating more, I feel way more energetic. I feel like I actually want to exercise. And I actually now call it my playtime, because I literally will go in my basement and I'll just do my own free flow yoga with a video on, and it's just so delicious. Oh my gosh. And then I'll like practice all those, challenging moves that I want to get. Like, I'm practicing doing a headstand right now, and like other balancing postures. And I'm so excited about it, because like, it feels like an accomplishment. It's fun, And so now it's, oh my gosh, I figured out how to make exercise fun. What else can I do? And now I go for bike rides every day, almost every day, but they're so fun. Like, bike riding for me is really fun. And I started practicing doing cartwheels because I didn't know how to do a cartwheel up until now, and I'm 31 years old.
What do you mean doing a cartwheel? What is that?
You know what a cartwheel? It's like when you like, whoa, like that, and you go like. I don't know how to.
Do I have like a little? Yeah, I got it. Do you
like, this is my body, and you go.
Do you want to do it?
I can't do it in my room. Oh my god, I don't think I can do it yet, but.
Yeah, but you're just feeling like more playful. Yeah, I feel that too.
Yeah.
Like, I go to a yoga class. And everyone's so serious. I'm like, I don't care. It's just, but I can do so much because I don't take myself too hard, and I'm not trying. As a yoga teacher, I'm also like very, I'm strict with my students, because I just want them to do the right form so they won't hurt their body. But it's like I'm just feeling so playful and my body's so flexible and suddenly I can do that and I can do this, and it's just everything becomes fun, It's like, oh, I walked down the street and I saw these two birds today. I went to a park and I saw these two parrots are actually kissing each other. They were like, and then the other parrot was like jealous, so he tried to go in.
That's precious. I love that.
Yeah, so you start
What a good
noticing
moment.
everything, and everything can become like fun, and yeah, like you have a lot more patience with yourself as well. So I didn't make it today, I can do it tomorrow, It's like,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that's beautiful. I'm so glad that you're having fun in your yoga as well. I didn't know you were a yoga teacher. That's so cool. So amazing. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, this is what I actually leaned on to go to a tropical place. I was looking to, it was last year, so I really felt like I need to go to tropical. I cannot be here in winter, So I was like, and yeah, so I went to Sri Lanka and I was doing like this yoga teaching. It was quite a journey. It was really, really great, actually. Eating all this actual real fruits,
Right. The really good kind.
Yeah.
The ones we're made for. Yeah. The
Yeah.
tropical fruits.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Ooh,
Your mangosteen is like, wow.
it's so good,
Okay.
right?
Yeah. I couldn't believe. I was like, oh my God, I never ate this thing in my life. Why? How am I still alive? No.
Oh man. No, I get it. Tropical fruit is just unreal. Like durian, I still can't believe it exists, to be honest. Like,
Durian
what?
is your favorite? Would you say durian is your favorite?
I I mean, it's hard to say. Doug Graham always says my favorite food is, or my favorite fruit is the one I'm eating right now, which I think is true. I try to get all the fruits that I love the most. When I'm eating durian and it's a good durian, it's my favorite fruit. But I think right now, because we have this store in Canada, right now it's an Asian grocery store, and they bring in Filipino fruits from the Philippines. So we're getting these
Yeah.
jackfruits right now, and these jackfruits are actually amazing. I didn't think they were going to be good imported, but they're so good. So today I had so much jackfruit, and it was just so good, almost like being in Bali.
Almost.
It's crazy, almost this close.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember when I was in Sri Lanka and there were just jackfruits falling everywhere. They were just falling. So I would find like a roadkill, but of jackfruit. And I was just, people would see me like sitting on the road and just like eating jackfruit and they're like, "Are you okay?"
Like a monkey. Like, that's so
Yeah, but
awesome.
I sometimes had to clean it out from ants, so I was taking a bag
Yeah.
and I was just starting to put the jackfruit in the bag and go wash it, and
Yeah.
yeah, but that was the best. Like,
You go,
wow.
girl. That
Yeah.
is so awesome. Such a badass.
Yeah.
Getting your roadkill
Yeah.
jackfruit.
Mm.
Aw.
Yeah.
Or would you
Free
call it
food.
road drop? Yeah, free food, exactly.
I would call it monkey dropped.
Monkey drops. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, because they usually eat it and then it's dropping, or they drop
Right.
it and then they don't finish it because they run away if a car is coming or something. So they leave it to me and basically I would just eat it, you know. It's
Monkey
a
dropped.
win-win for me. Yep.
A little different than monkey drops. We have to distinguish between those two.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
We don't want to eat monkey drops. Those. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, I also had another question. I wrote it down. 1 second, I'm gonna get my notebook. I forgot it
Mm-hmm.
in my room.
No problem. No problem. Ooh, we're
One
going for
sec.
a walk. Woo woo.
Yeah, a walk around my house, around my grandma's house.
Aw. Hey, Grandma.
Nah,
I don't
she
know
doesn't
where she
hear
is.
you.
Aw.
She's in the kitchen. Yeah.
Aw.
So this is my book. Oh, someone asked this. What she eats in a day and how did she give up cooked food cravings? That's a good question.
Those are two very good questions. Yeah. What do I eat in a day? It depends on what fruit I have available. Right now, all I eat is whatever in-season ripe fruit that I have, and I have mono meals of fruit. So for example, today I had a little bit of lychee this morning, and then I had a whole ton of jackfruit, and then I had about 3 or 4 mangoes. And usually I like to have one big meal. So okay, this is not really regular for me. I was a little bit all over the place this morning. Usually what I have is one mono meal of a fruit, so at a time, which is what I did this morning, but it was just kind of within a few hours. But my regular day would be like, I don't know, a giant bowl of grapes for breakfast. Maybe for lunch I might have about 5 mangoes. Dinner time I might have more grapes, or if I'll have mangoes or jackfruit. Depends on what's there and what looks good. It always all looks good, so I'm always like, what am I going to have for dinner today? But that's what I've been eating, and I've been feeling really fantastic doing that. And then how did I give up cooked food cravings? Well, lucky enough for me, I was transitioning very slowly without actually realizing it, because I was trying to heal from multiple sclerosis, essentially. And so I was still on cooked foods, but I was doing lots of fruits and vegetables. I had cut out most of the junk food. I eventually quit coffee, which was really hard for me to quit, but I did. And when I did, I had some pretty horrendous detox symptoms, but they only lasted a couple days. Lucky me. And then when I finally went raw and I realized and learned about it, like how amazing it is, it wasn't difficult for me to give it up at all, because I had been transitioning for so long, and because I am so extremely motivated by, I guess, by pain. And if I have something wrong with me, like I had these terrible symptoms, like I was like, I'll do anything, like as long as I get to stay vegan, I will do it. If I had learned about fruitarianism when I had first gotten those symptoms, I would have been fruitarian overnight. Like, I don't give a shit. If I have to eat only fruit, that's what I'm going to do. But the most amazing part about it is that the fruit is so satisfying. Like, it never feels like a diet. People go on diets like the keto diet, you know, the Atkins diet. They do all these diets, and not to knock anybody. I know everybody's on their own journey and everybody wants to heal and feel good, and bless you for doing that. However, I do see that those diets are not meant to be long-term, whereas our species-specific diet, which is fruits and, yeah, some tender leafy greens if desired, it's like what we're supposed to eat. So it actually feels good. I heard from Dr. Doug Graham. He has had a very big influence on me. He said that, you know, all the things that are healthy for us feel good in the long term and in the short term. Yeah. So like, exercise that is actually good for you should be fun. It should feel good. It should be satisfying. The challenge should even be fun, which for me now it actually is. When you find exercise that's actually fun, it's amazing. And I think what actually gets you to that point is when you let yourself fucking relax and rest for a bit. Because that's what I had to do. I had to be like, Adriana, you don't feel like exercising, lie down. So that's what I did. I just took a nap because that's what I wanted to do. And when you get that rest, guess what? You have energy to exercise. Ta-da!
Yeah.
It's funny. Yeah, but anyway, I hope that answers that question.
Yeah, wow. So you didn't even, so you never tried like cooked foods ever since you went raw?
No.
Wow.
No.
This is awesome.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, at the beginning, I really missed potatoes, but that's the thing is I transitioned so slowly, and a lot of people don't, because they find out about raw and they're still in the SAD diet, or maybe, you know, less fruits and vegetables. Yeah. So they go right into it, and it's really tough because, I mean, for me, it was a very slow transition. I didn't even know it was happening. I was high raw basically for about a year and a half before I went raw. And for me, I'm just an extremely motivated person with certain things. Like you were saying, Yasmin, if something makes sense to you, it's just like, that's it. That's like what it is for me. If something makes complete sense to me, I'm like, I don't want to do anything else. This is my life now. I am hooked. It was like when I went vegan, I was vegan overnight. Like I remember I watched 2 documentaries and I was like, I'm sold. I'm a vegan. like I was like eating meat before that. Like it was crazy. So I don't know what it is in my brain, but I think people have access to this part of their brain, or maybe everybody just has different skills, and that's fine.
Yeah, for sure. Like veganism is actually, I think it's pretty easy because when you realize, when you really educate yourself, it's not even about being healthy. It's like,
Exactly.
yeah, sure, it's better if you do it healthier, but it's just about, dude, this is like what you're eating, like you're eating dead animal body parts, and then you're paying for someone to kill like chicks and
Yeah.
you know, and you're looking at it as like so freaking sad. Like I cannot believe I was
Yeah.
eating this for like I don't know. I was vegetarian since I was 15 and I wasn't like really aware. I wasn't watching any videos or documentaries or whatnot. But I was just like astrology wise and then like some people talked about like eating a lamb and I'm like, oh my God, this is like my sign. I cannot eat that, you know? And then I started realizing that there's like actual animals we're eating. And I'm like, oh no, I cannot eat that anymore. Yeah, so you know, for me, it was so easy to give that up. And yeah, but I wasn't really aware about what's happening with the egg industry and the dairy industry. They even took us from school. I remember when I was in, I think, around 12 or 13 years old, they took us to, no, it was in elementary school. Yeah, so they took us to the factory where they, you know, like you have like Nestle and all of that. So we had like an Israeli company and they took us and I saw like the cows are standing there and they're being connected to all the weird machines and they're not really able to move. But I didn't know, I didn't know they're supposed to be, you know, actually I didn't even think about them, you know, because we're so used to, we're so used to, you know, this is like normal.
Right.
You don't, I guess that when you're not really connected to nature, because I was living in a big city my entire life, then, yeah, like the disconnection is what really makes it hard for people to want to understand what is actually going on, you know, like what
Right.
they're putting inside of their bodies, what they're paying for. Because most people would not be able to go and kill an animal, or no one would go and drink out from a cow's titties, or you know, like no one would do that, or from a goat because goat milk is better for you than cow's milk. Like, I don't know, it's like all these stupid things, you know. I used to think that too, but I was really uneducated, but now I know, and like I think it's our job to actually educate people on that. Not our job, but it's like they need to hear it, you know. Being honest, I think, is very important. Even if someone doesn't want to hear something and doesn't feel right to him, you know, if I sit in like a family meal we have every Friday night, and they're all eating meat and they're eating dairy, and then they go, oh, it's such a shame you don't eat these foods anymore. And I'm like, yo, you know what, I'm so glad I don't eat that, because I don't get to pay for an animal being murdered or putting disease inside of my body. I'm pretty happy with my fruits, you know. I would eat mango every single day. I don't mind that, and I know you would like to have that too. You actually, like, I eat bowls of fruits everywhere I go, and people are just staring at my fruit. They want to eat it. Like, I can see this. Does it happen to you too? Like when you just sit outside and people are like, wow, they're just so mesmerized by the color of the fruit, and they just look at it, you know, and they're like, oh my God, I want it too. Yeah. Does it happen to you?
Well, I don't usually take my food out in public. Sometimes I'm a bit of a hermit, but yeah, I feel like, because right now I'm staying with my parents for a bit because I'm back from Bali and I'm gonna go travel again. And whenever I eat my fruit, my dad's like, "Can I have some?" I'm like, "Here we go." Like, yes, we can. Yeah. So like, I mean, I understand why that's happening to you though, because fruit is attractive to our senses, right? It's our food. And it's like literally nature's candy. Our senses want us to see color. Our senses want us to want the sugar. I mean, that's why we all have a sweet tooth, right? It's because we're supposed to eat fruit. So I just think that's amazing that it's manifesting for you in that way where it's just showing up like all over the place that this is our food, this is our food, this is our food. Like these people are like little, bees looking at flowers, right? Like, oh my God, there's the fruit.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Mm.
I'm a total hermit. Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay, so people are really enthusiastic about the stories. I think that's wonderful. Yeah, so yeah, is there anything else you would like to, advise anyone who's watching this or will be watching this about the journey and how to, just be in a healthy mindset and
Mm.
just enjoy, even being healthy, it doesn't mean that you don't have to eat anything that is fun. Is there anything you would
Mm.
like to say to the viewers that are watching this? Any type of message? Um,
Mm. Well, I mean, I guess it depends on, because I know a lot of the viewers who are watching this are potentially interested in this kind of diet and they're wanting to know if it's a healthy diet, they're wanting to know if it's sustainable and if they're going to heal on this diet. And I want to put it out there that if you are interested in the fruitarian or raw vegan diet or eating more fruit and you're worried about the sustainability of that, you have to understand that if you start this, it probably won't be easy at first for a lot of reasons, because when you start, yeah, you'll probably start to feel really good, but you might experience detoxification symptoms, and this is often the reason why people give up. And it makes me so sad to see that, because if you just go through the detoxification symptoms and understand that when you have the runny nose or the headache or all those stomach pains or whatever it might be, which happens, I've talked to clients that this happens to, it passes because the body is trying to cleanse and heal itself all the time. So don't give up is what I'm saying. If you really want to do this lifestyle, that's what I would say about that. And like what you said, Yasmin, you were saying that just because you're eating a healthy diet doesn't mean it's not fun. It's actually true. It sounds a little lame to say healthy foods are, super fun, but they literally are. My dad and I were sharing this jackfruit this morning, and I was like, Dad, this is like really fun to pull apart, isn't it? He's like, yeah, this is actually really fun to eat. And we're just scarfing it down because it's so mind-blowingly delicious. Like if you can find yourself ripe in season fruit, oh my God, like there's nothing else I would rather eat. It's so good, it's so satisfying. Anyway, don't give up if you want to do it. And also, last thing, I would say do your research about it, because when you know why things are happening the way they are happening, you're going to be much more likely to stick with it if you want to do that. And just be nice and gentle to yourself. If you try it and you fail and you don't want to do it anymore, don't be mean to yourself, be kind to yourself, because, Yasmin and I aren't here to say, like, if you don't do a fruitarian or raw vegan diet, you're a bad person. Like, no, we're not saying that. We're just here to talk about what we're doing and how it makes us feel. And if that works for you too, then that's amazing. Yeah, that's all I got to say.
yeah, and enjoy the transition, like any
Yeah.
type of diet you're on at the moment, and just don't like restrict yourself and think that everything you eat. I had an eating disorder client. She was a 15-year-old, and she was always wanting to fast because she didn't want to gain, she didn't want to gain weight because she had an eating disorder,
Yeah.
and she was actually anorexic. And I told her, like, dude, you have to eat. You don't need to fast. Like, you don't need to. You need to focus on enjoying your food. And I actually told her to incorporate some cooked foods, because if you're going from like eating fish and cooked foods every day into eating only fruits, I think that might be a bit of a problem it might be too fast for your body and mind to adjust.
It could be
Even
really
though people,
intense. Yeah.
yeah, even though people with eating disorders are not really aware that it's like not a good thing. They're always trying to stay skinny, and I'm like, like you have to eat more. And I would also add up that tropical fruits are so important. They are so important. They are the most nutritious, the most delicious, and the most satisfying, in my opinion. Yeah, because I experienced that when I don't eat like a mango or any type of thing except for banana, which is like the only tropical thing I eat on a daily basis now, then my body just doesn't feel as good as like in summer when I eat tons of mangoes, or in we have cherry moyas here during the fall. So this
Wow.
is like I can go mono meals on
God.
cherry moyas like all day, you
I'm
know,
so
and maybe one mono
jealous.
meal of yeah, yeah. But it's like, you know, this is the only seasons when we have it. But we yeah, so stick to tropical fruits. It's going to make it so much easier, and you won't be craving like nothing. Like for real, when I do that, when it's mango season, I eat 2 mono meals of mangoes. Sometimes I eat like 3 meals of mangoes, and the last meal will probably be mango and something else. But like, you know, tropical is the key. I have papayas here. Oh, we also have papayas now growing, and they are way more satisfying to me than eating a watermelon or a melon. I just feel like I don't have to eat all the time, and I don't, you know, it's just like the body is more relaxed, it's more balanced. I feel like tropical fruits are more balanced to the body as well, which is also something that I want to talk about. And even if you don't have tropical, just, you know, get like good quality fruits, or I don't know, make a way to just eat those things.
Seasonal fruit.
Yeah, seasonal fruit. And you know, like in winter when it's orange season, I'm like, I'm not, I mean, I can do oranges every day, but I won't go do like mono days on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think that tropical is very, very crucial on this lifestyle. It just feels more balanced. I don't really know how to explain that. It just, for me,
I understand what you mean. Yes. Sorry, because I went to the tropics for the winter this year, so I'm a little biased. I just absolutely love tropical fruit, so I can't disagree with you on that because tropical fruit's just so damn delicious.
yeah, and I think it's because they are in the right conditions where we are meant
Yeah.
to eat. Like we are tropical creatures, you know, we're meant to thrive in tropical environments. Also, eating whatever grows in the tropics is obviously way more beneficial to us. You know, it's like more suitable for us. Like I would say, I love peaches. Right now, it's peaches season, and like, oh man, like I love peaches. But if you let me choose peaches or you let me choose a jackfruit, I would probably choose a jackfruit.
Same.
Yeah, so I'm like, yeah, it's a different. And you know, if you don't have the option to get this, just make sure that you're eating enough. And if you feel the need to, then eat some leafy greens or eat some nuts and seeds if you really feel the need to, and you don't get like enough quality fruits or sufficient, you know, if you don't have the option to go to the tropics or have that access. Like right now, only mango season started when I know that in the tropics, it starts around March. I was in the tropics last year, and they had like the best mangoes I've ever eaten in my life, like for real.
Oh, same.
In
Thailand.
really? So the mangoes in Thailand, I don't know. I only had tried one variety in Thailand, but I also only tried one variety in Sri Lanka, and the mango in Sri Lanka was like, there's no, I like, there's no mango that can compare to this, you know. I was like,
Wow.
oh yeah, I was going hunting, you know, in shops though. I was going hunting in fruit stalls for this mango. It was like different level, you know. It's like, a whole other level to it. We also have good mangoes, but obviously when it grows in the tropics, it gets like a different
Oh,
essence, you know?
absolutely. And it's not picked super early, so it actually ripens on the tree. Like it's like it's so good.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. So yeah,
No, it's okay.
yeah. So this is typically what I would advise to people, and also not to restrict yourself and not be too hard on yourself. You know, if you ate something,
Mm.
just know what to expect, you know, and know that it also goes away, and just see if this is the way you want to feel, and if something makes you feel really good, then and something doesn't make you feel good, just know to connect what was different. Also, resting as well, like you mentioned, is such of an important thing in every lifestyle. You know, it's just when we don't rest enough, we also tend to overeat or don't feel well, or then we are also more stressed out, and then for people that want to lose weight, then it doesn't work, you know, and then they start binge eating, and then they just feel even worse, and it's just like an ongoing cycle. So I would say like today I had to take a nap. I don't like I ate some tahini yesterday and it absolutely killed me. You know, like I was so yeah, it was not that much. It wasn't like it was like two tablespoons, but for my body's not used to eating that,
Yeah.
and so it's kind of detrimental. And I'm like, okay, so I shouldn't, like, I just won't do it, but I'm not too hard on myself. I just took a nap, you know, and even though I'm very active, I wake up in during like sunset, sorry, not sunset, sunrise, which is pretty early now. It's like around 5 a.m. So I usually wake up between 5 to 6 a.m. And I noticed that you too, because you were awake like really early today, right?
Yeah, well, I teach English online to children who live in China. So yeah, I wake up usually around 4:30 in the morning.
Oh wow! Oh
Yeah.
wow! Right? Yeah. So taking a nap, I think, might be even crucial.
Oh
It's
yeah. Yeah.
so. It's not only about eating the fruit, you know. It's also knowing when to rest. It's also knowing that movement is also really important, and especially when you have the energy. It's also being in the sun and grounding and having all these elements, you know, giving time for yourself also to rest, not only like resting and going to sleep, but, you know, just taking time for yourself, away from stress if possible, breathing, you know, stretching, um, whatever makes you feel good. And remember also that the fact that you're meeting other people that are not raw vegans and fruitarians can also benefit you, and in other aspects of life. Like I like to play music. I enjoy doing a lot of activities that fruitarians here aren't doing, you know. And I don't really know a lot of fruitarians around here, to be accurate. Um, yeah, so just do whatever makes you feel good. If you like to play music and your friends are eating hamburgers, you know, and this is the reason why you want to stay away from them, but you really like enjoying playing with them, so maybe don't judge them, you know, the judgmental side also, because we do feel better. And I do see, like, inside of myself at the beginning, I was also pretty judgmental because I know it hurts people the way they eat. It wasn't from like a bad intention or anything. I didn't think I know everything. I didn't think I have the answers to everything. Well, most of the time I didn't think that, but sometimes I did. I have to be really honest. And it really hurt me as well. It was really hard to be around certain people and situations. But then I realized that I'm pretty much alone in a city, and like I don't have a lot of friends, because, you know, real people don't really usually have a lot of friends. I mean, real people, like honest people, because people are really trying to hide who they are, which I also think it's pretty a shame. So I think my message here is to really be loving and kind to your body and to yourself, and do what makes you feel good so you can actually thrive. And yeah, remember that the diet is very, very important, and you should be consuming what makes you feel your optimal best, but also don't neglect the other areas of your life. Like, it's also pretty important. Yeah.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
girl.
All right.
Gotta do what you love.
You gotta do what you love. Yeah, I found it
You
really
gotta.
hard to connect with people because I was really judgmental.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the more honest you are, the less popular you are. Yeah. Yeah, I guess
I mean,
so.
yeah. I mean, you
But
start
the right,
to realize, like, well, like I think you were just about to say it. You start having the right friends in your life, or the ones who understand you the most. You know, the
yeah.
ones who get you, and then you start dropping all the ones that really weren't there for you in the first place. Yeah.
Yeah, so you find like true, real connections. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and this is the most important thing. So family, you cannot change your family. I mean, you cannot replace them. They will always be your family because this is the way you were
Yeah.
born. And I don't respect their decisions. I accept it, but I don't respect it, you know. But it's their journey, and I still care about them, you know, so I'm trying to be very patient with them. But the other
Mm-hmm.
environment, the other people that are temporary, they are just temporary, you know, that you met. I had to drop like a really good friend of mine that she was basically like a home to me, but it just seemed like there's a lot of ego. She was having a hard time because she was really critical with herself, and she did. She still, I think she's still having problems like loving herself, and for me it's pretty toxic, and sometimes the reactions are pretty hard for me as well. So you know, I gotta let people do what they want to do, and yes. But I feel like the more people I do drop, you know, then the more the real ones are coming. Either it's through online, you know, or just walking in the street, doing what I love, and just, yeah, like this is why I'm saying it's so important to emphasize what you're attracted to, doing what you love. So I feel like you being an actress, a performance, you know, doing this, I think this is great, you know, because you get to influence through your energy, and you get to, you know, do what you love and do what your heart really loves. This is the way you express yourself, you know.
Yeah.
And it's really important to also do that, and the right people will come to you, you know. The healthier your mindset is what you're attracting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Talking about
Absolutely.
like manifestation and stuff. So it's really
Yeah.
important. And also, don't give up. If you, it's one last thing I want to say, that also I feel like it's really hard with relationship wise, because there aren't so many of us. And it's also really important for most of us to have someone that eats the same way, because usually it's around this lifestyle, you know. Yeah, so we need someone to understand us. And this is also can be pretty challenging, but don't go back to putting in your body things that you don't like, not doesn't make you feel good, if you just for someone to like you, because it's not what, for me, I respect people that have boundaries, you know, that are sticking, they have like, you know, they're not like they just stand up for what they believe. And this is, yeah, so they're like true to themselves, and I think that this is the most important thing. Stay true to yourself, and yeah, just know that whatever needs to come will come if you really want it, you know. Yeah.
Absolutely. Go to raw food events if you can,
If you're able to, if you're able
or
to.
if you're able to. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, and also I've known like there's lots of people who connect on Instagram and stuff actually, which I've heard of happening before. So this is also a possibility.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Well, I don't want to keep you up too late. Yeah, it was so nice to talk to you, Yasmin.
Yeah, it was a joy. It's like it was really fun talking to you too, Adriana.
Oh,
And I'm sending you so much love and thank you for being here, sending your good vibes.
it's
And
my pleasure. Thank you for having me. This is an honor.
thank you for being here.
Aw,
All right.
anytime.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.